Morning. Staining deck boards, I guess. I really can't call this video staining floors because we didn't install floors in this cabin. It's completely open underneath. There's no way to control humidity. There's no way to control temperature. I can't put down engineered hardwoods. I can't put down LVP. So what I did was I actually took the same 5/4 deck boards that you would use on a deck and use that as flooring. And so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a deck stain on that, and I want it really dark. It's an oil-based product from Cabot, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Some people are going to say, Doc, there's cracks. What are you going to do with the cracks? I don't care. It's a cabin, dude. You vacuum. If you're a pig, just vacuum. That's all you got to do. So again, there's no way to control. I've got to, when we redid this project, we went through this long process of getting the humidity, getting the moisture down below 12%. We had to bring in dehumidifiers. We had to go through a bunch of stuff. So, and that was putting down our engineered hardwoods downstairs and then LVP. It's a long story. So anyways, I'll take you over there. That's what I'm gonna do today. It's supposed to drop down to 18 degrees tonight and then 15 degrees tomorrow. John came over yesterday. He sanded, we sanded that floor. I finished the window trim. I'll put a little bit of that up. And then I put this old sleeping bag out to dry last night and it poured. So that ain't working out for me either. Here we go. Okay, so today is floor sanding day. John's here, he's gonna work. This will probably take him 2 days. It's gonna take him probably 2 full days in here. So we've pulled up all this ram board, and the ram board is that hard cardboard paper. It was absolutely pure white. Unfortunately, I didn't cover up some areas, so you can see. So we're having to really spend some time and sand that plaster out from the mud from the walls, but it's coming up. And then you can see we got some lines here, and then we're doing here. So he's gonna sand the whole floor, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have him start back there and work this way, and then as he comes forward, I'm gonna start staining. I got a different stain color coming. I want the floor really dark, so I'm gonna test and maybe mix some colors. But I want this floor really dark, and I think it'll accent really well with everything else that's going on here. So that's today's project. I told John, I said, this is a bad day to be wearing black. He's taking all the white plaster off the floor. It's looking good though. Yeah, that's really gonna look good. And then I just brought in, I had Lowe's deliver my stain. We'll see what that looks like. Hey, when you get a chance, see where they wrote down numbers there? See if you can get those off too.
I guess.
Any place you see a writing.
Alright.
And then let me show you guys a little trick. So I'm up here, I'm measuring these boards here, and this one is supposed to be 35 and 1/8. So I come up and I am like a 64th shy. So how do I cut a 64th with a cut saw? Let me show you a little trick. I'm gonna take my board, because I need to trim just a 64th off. I'm gonna put it on here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my blade down. I'm gonna push this tight against my blade. My blade is actually gonna move a little bit, and it's gonna give resistance. So I go down here, push it. Oh, come on now. I can't get it to move. Push it against my blade. When I come up, you can hear a drag. That will cut about a 64th of an inch off, just pushing that metal blade over. So a lot of times you come out here and you cut off too much. That's a great, you could cut off a 64th, go back in, try it, cut off another 64th. Perfect. John's knocked out quite a bit of this floor. It actually looks really good. And then I tested the stain color on it. It's okay. But I've really been pushing myself. I got all the windows trimmed out. Don't they look good? Man, that looks so good. All the windows trimmed. All of them door trimmed out. Windows trimmed out. Someone was asking me about that corner over there and how I was going to trim this out. All you do is when you get to this type of corner here, just rip down your board to whatever size that is, so it looks halfway decent. But I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do up there. I am gonna order, I'm gonna get some black metal they make these black connectors. And I'm gonna get some black squares, corner squares, and put them up here. That'll look nice. So today, shower's all done. Today what I need to do is I need to tape off I need to tape off the toilet, any of these places that might get some stain on them. And then I'm gonna be using Cabot Gold, which is a oil-based stain. And I'll be staining all this wood. Again, I'm gonna leave the heaters running, I'll leave the fan running just to get this to dry out. I've got to let it dry for 2 or 3 days, and then Austin's gonna come in and do that stuff. But I've really learned my lesson on wood. You gotta get a coat of stain on it. Like that deck out there, thank God I stained that, because you get mud and everything else in there. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so you can probably see I've got painter's tape on any place that I do not want to get stained. I'm going to be putting an 8-inch square baseboard along the bottom, so I'm fine with everything else. I've got a box of paper rags, black gloves, stain, and I've got a 5-inch brush. And what I'll be doing is I'll be brushing this on pretty heavy. One thing I've learned, especially with an oil-based stain, or with all stains, but your first coat is really important, because once that first coat dries, you're really not going to be able to get anything else into the wood. It's designed to seal it. Oil base, you can get maybe a little bit more penetration on the second coat, but pretty much it's going to seal it up. So the first coat of stain I always put on really heavy. You don't want to glob it on, you don't want to make it, you know, where it's just pooling up, but you want to put it on pretty heavy. And because once that's on, that's pretty much it. All right, so this color is called Moonlight Mahogany, and it's an oil-based product. It goes on a little bit thicker than your normal stain. It almost feels like it's a little bit, almost, I don't want to say jelly, but it kind of has a thicker consistency to it. But I wanted the floors really dark, so that's why I'm using it. This floor is really, really dark. And I was worried that this wouldn't be dark enough, but I like it. Put it on nice and thick. I'm not letting it pool, but this is just gonna take time, that's all. Every so often you do need to stop and sort of think about, am I painting myself into a corner? So, just a little side note for you guys. You're going to load up your brush, and everyone wants to come down here and start here, but what you want to do is come here, get it heavy, and then work it back into here. Next, don't grab your brush hard, really, really loose, because your hand is going to start to cramp up. So I'm going to load up my brush, and I'm going to touch, touch, touch. I'm doing 3 boards right now, and then I'm going to pull that towards the area that already has stain. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of pooling down on that side that already has been stained. And you have to sort of fight that in your mind, because your instinctive reaction is to take a loaded brush and go to that end. So then what you're going to have is you're going to have a lot of these little marks like this. So what you're going to do now, take your brush and feather up, feather up, feather up, and then they all go away. That's a hard part with this. This is a little bit thicker stain, so I'm going to touch, 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 and then I'm going to pull that down towards the area. Otherwise, if I put my brush down here, like I said, I'd have these big pools. Now I can come back here, pick up some more stain as I need it, holding my brush really lightly. I have to fight myself because I want to grab it tight. And once my brush starts to run out, I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna feather. I'm gonna feather, and I'm gonna feather. If I miss a spot, I'm gonna come back and feather again. Got it? Oh man, starting to cramp a little bit, my hand's sore. I'm starting to get boxed in a little bit here. So I've done all this. I've set up my fan and my heater. They just have little teeny rubber feet, so I'm not worried about them sticking. Shut off all the lights. Now I need to look over here. I got my phone, I got my coffee. I need to get that stuff out of here because I'm getting ready to box myself in to here, and basically I won't be able to reach in here and get anything for at least 24 hours. So you gotta be prepared. Just think a little bit, stop and think. Did I leave anything in here? So here I go. Move this outside. Okay, so I'm pretty much boxed in now. I got a little square down at my feet and I'm looking around. Is everything the way I want it? I almost forgot my jacket, but man, this literally looks good. Really liking this. I wanted a really, really dark floor. I'm gonna put a white 8-inch baseboard. I've got a kick plate for the front of the counters. I gotta fix that trim up there. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But anyways, now I gotta work myself in or out of this corner. Man, this temperature is dropping out here. It's chilly. So I have finished the entire floor. I turned off the lights. I got a fan and 2 little heaters running. And I'm gonna let that run for 24 hours. I'm actually pretty happy with the way that came out. Man, it's getting cold out here. We're supposed, like I said, we're supposed to get down to 15, 18 degrees. If you haven't watched my frozen pipe video that I put up yesterday, I show you how to insulate pipes. I show you how to insulate a well. You got to make sure you actually watch that one. What else is going on? I went up, I got a whole bunch of firewood. I put it inside. I'm going to start a fire in a little while because it's not going to get warmer. That's for sure. But man, it's starting to look like winter out here too. Anyways, guys, a lot of stuff coming on. Austin's coming over to do the beams. I got that cabinet bed coming in Thursday. It's just a bunch of stuff. So hit subscribe and stay warm, please. Please stay warm. Talk to you later. Doug.